Hello Flosstube friends, I'm Charlie, this is Stitching with Charlie. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to this little bit of the internet where we talk all things cross stitch. If you have seen any other UK creators in the last couple of weeks, you may know we are having a massive heat wave over here in the UK. We thought last week was bad, this week is even worse. I saw a headline this morning that says UK hotter than Barbados. So I'm feeling a little bit woozy, a little bit warm, but I've got some water. I wrote some notes, but they are not as detailed as my normal notes because it's too hot really to do anything. So I'm just going to talk at you. We'll see how it goes. If you can't understand me, sorry, skip ahead and I'll see you in a couple of weeks when things make a bit more sense. It's so hot. So today I've got finishes for you, I've got whips for you, and very exciting, belated birthday haul. So I finally had all of my birthday presents come in. I've been very lucky with been spoiled with lots of lovely cross-stitch things. So I'm gonna show you all of those. Firstly though, I want to talk quickly about Just Finish It June and July. The hashtag is #JustFinishJuneandJuly. I'm so pleased that had such a great reception. It sounds like some of you also need a little bit of motivation to get a few things across the finish line. So if you'd like to join us, feel free to use the hashtag on Instagram. Or if you're not on Instagram and you'd like to join in, then feel free to email me any pictures of your finished works. I think we'll do a little community finish parade in August. So if you'd like me to kind of show your work in a future video and celebrate everything that everyone's managed to get across the line and finish in June and July, then I would love to see what you've been working on. A couple of people have already tagged me and discussed it in their videos, so that's really exciting. And I wanted to give a special shout out to Lee at Stick Strings and Other Things, who has managed to drag a lot of her finished stitching and FFO, a huge amount of stuff. And I think that's brilliant. Lee, they look amazing and well done. I also have things languishing in the to be finished, fully finished pile. So it is not just about stitching, you can just finish anything. So if it's stitched but you want to FFO it, then please feel free to join in. Also, I'm not going to be strict about it. If there's something that you want to share that you're really proud of that you finished in May or April, just use the hashtag. No one will know, and I'd love to see all your finished works. So I look forward to it. Okay, so what have I been just finishing? I have 2 finishes to show you and lots of whips. One whip which I'm pushing for a finish before the end of July. So the first finish is Native Trio. So this is from the Australian Homespun magazine, and it's a set of 3 different plants. I'm going to be a bit cheeky and I'm going to tag Margaret from Maggie Lou Stitches because I know she lives down under, and because this pattern is called Native Trio, but the magazine doesn't tell you what the plants are, which is really bugging me. So if anyone is from that part of the world and maybe knows what these plants are, I would absolutely love to understand a bit more about what I'm stitching. So here is where I was last time. You may remember I'm doing this on an unconventional fabric. So this is not a cross-stitching fabric. It's a linen viscose blend that I picked up cheap as an offcut from a fabric store. And in the shop, I'd looked at it and thought, is it square? Is it not square? And to my eye, it was quite square, and I got it home and measured it, and it's not square. It's about 18 count in one direction, about 23, 24 in the other direction. So I've decided to stitch on it sorry, let me get these right. I always get this wrong. I think I'm gonna have to start putting them in the description so you can check every time that I get them wrong. It is 2/1 on the kind of 18/24 count. So this is it, it's finished. I've done one of the first plants. So the choice now will be, do we finish it like this, or do I put the second and third one on the same piece of fabric? But for now I'm calling it a win, and for now I'm calling it finished. Finished for now, should we call an FFN? Yeah, so I finished all of the stitching. It's really nice to have a monochromatic piece. I've just done it in DMC 08, which is a brown I had, and I think it's come together really nicely. So would I recommend using a non-cross stitching what kind of woven fabric for cross stitching? I think it comes down to two things. One, is it cheap? If the fabric is cheap, then it might be worth it. And two, it really depends on the pattern. So I've chosen a pattern that it doesn't matter if it gets stretched. So you can see if we compare it to the model stitch, you'll see that it's elongated and taller. So if you're going to do this and measure your fabric, make sure that you start your design in the right direction to know which way it's going to get stretched. I think this would have looked a lot worse if we'd sort of shortened and fattened it rather than making it longer and stretched. But it's been a really good experiment. This whole piece of fabric cost me, under £2, and there's absolutely masses of it. So I will be finding lots of plants to stitch on it, I think, things that we can kind of stretch up. And speaking of unconventional fabrics, I found another piece. I was in the charity shop the other day and I found these linen trousers. Absolutely masses of fabric to use. And this is a tighter weave. I have measured it and then didn't write it down. I'm one of these people that thinks as soon as I do something, I think, I'll remember that. And then of course, when it's like we're talking about literally counts and like 30 this or 20 something, did I remember? No, absolutely not. So I will have to do it again. But it is a linen fabric. And in the shop, I did convince myself that it looks pretty square. Got it home. It's absolutely not square at all. But I don't think it's too bad. I think the stretch on it is similar to that other piece. So watch this space. I'm sure I will find something to stitch on it. As you know, we like a crafty bargain here. But again, I think it's great to experiment on different things. But do be aware if you're going to use something that's not a cross-stitch fabric, it may be that the weave is different in one direction than the other, so it's going to have an impact on your pattern. My second finish, so that was my first finish. My second finish is the Chameleon from the Just Cross Stitch Summer 2025 edition. So Laura at Stitching by the Shore was running a little stitch along for this and a name along. We've had some really good comments on this channel about what we should name him or her or them. I'm going to do like a little poll, so hopefully you'll see that pop up in the next couple of days in your feed, and everyone can vote. We'll use the suggestions of what people have commented, and then we'll take a vote, and then my Chameleon will get named. So this is where I was last time, and here we are now. Boop. Very cheeky chappy. I know one of the names suggested so far is Cheeks. I really like that because I keep saying that they're a cheeky chappy. Yeah, so I have now finished this. I'm doing this like my other magnets, so it's on a 14 count twist Zweigart canvas. So it's often what people use for tapestry rather than for cross stitch, but it's nice because it's a little bit flexible, but it doesn't fray, so you can just cut around the edges when you're done with the design. I did mine in orange, green and yellow. The original designs is blues and greens, but I kind of went for a kind of fun, vibrant, colourful look. And I did make a few little changes to the pattern. Obviously, I've just done the central chameleon and not the branch that it sits on. I had to make a few little changes to the feet in order to do that. And then also to the tail, this spiral is normally a couple of stitches that way, and you have more gap where the tail comes in here. But because I was going to cut this out, I didn't want it to be too fragile. It's already a little bit fragile here where there's only 3 stitches across. So I just shifted the tail over so it kind of curled right in on itself close to this side. No magnet on the back yet, so it's just like this currently because I've got some coming to me in the post. But yeah, another fun one to add to the magnet collection. My third finish, I do have another finish actually. I finished my artist trading card. So Laura at Stitching by the Shore does a couple of times a year a artist trading card swap for cross stitches. It's really good fun. It's the first time I've got involved, but I've really enjoyed it. What you do is there is a theme. You stitch a very small 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch card of a little piece of cross stitch for the theme. Then you send it off to Laura. She shuffles them all around and sends you someone else's back. So I have pre-recorded a little snippet of me showing you, but I'm going to wait until Laura does the reveal and everyone can see what everyone's made all in one go, and then I'll pop it in one of my videos. So 3 fairly small finishes. So we are rattling through the Just Finish June and July, and getting through to getting the whip count down a little bit so that I can build the whip count massively up when we get to open all my birthday presents in a minute. That is the way. I had found some of my projects were kind of being a bit neglected at the bottom of the box, so I'm glad to be kind of getting some of them ticked off so you can start new ones. Okay, moving on to whips. So those were the finishes. My first whip I've made huge progress on, and I'm really excited about this. This is Happy Homes by Poppy Benner. It's from a special card edition of a magazine. I'll pop all the details down below if people are interested in the designs. This is where we were up to last time, and then I've just been focusing on this one a lot because this is on the Just Finish June and July, and I have all of the cross stitch finished. So the back stitch in the first square was done because I did that right at the beginning, and then I decided, oh, I'll finish all the cross stitch for the other 3 squares, and then we'll do all of the back stitch as we go. Part of the reason I wanted to do that is because I shifted some of the colours around in the first square. So the windows were supposed to be black cross stitch with white back stitch over the top, and I wanted to do them the other way around. And some of the other squares, again, the windows are kind of supposed to be different, and some of the back stitch is supposed to be in white and some of it's supposed to be in black. And I thought once I had all of them done, I could play around with, well, do I want to do everything in black or do I want to mix that black and white? The only bit that's not yet stitched is there is a little sailboat in that third square, which is in black and white and with back stitch as well. So I thought, well, I'll just do the the cross stitch underneath when I do the back stitch as well. So yeah, I picked 4 of the designs I really liked, and decided to do them in a little montage like this. And the way I laid them out, I thought that they would complement each other. So the grass goes up in 1 and down in 3, and the sky in 2 and 4 are the same colour, and the dark blue of the sky picks up again in 1, picks up again in 4. So I thought I quite like that layout, and I'm really happy with it. I think it's a fun little stitch. This is 1 over 1 on a 22 count Ada. I did have a question from someone who was asking, where do you get 22 count Ada? I actually got this as an off cut, and it may well be that it's mismarked up. It may be a 20 count. I haven't actually measured it, but it was a little off cut from the craft shop, so I'm afraid I don't know where to get 22 count Ada. If anyone knows of a site that sells 22 count Ada consistently, please do pop it in the comments. Yeah, so just the back stitch to go on this one, and then it'll be finished. So that is one that I'm pushing for a finish on by the end of July. I've got a couple of others, my Halloween stitch, little Halloween stitch that I want to get done. The blackwork turtle is going to be coming out again in July to kind of maybe push for a finish on that one. But the next few projects are ones that I have been working on, but are not in the high priority list to get finished. So the first one is, I'm calling it Live Gently by Emma Congdon. This is from her book, Cross Stitch for the Earth. This is where I was up to last time, and I'm doing this one on a 26 count even weave, and I'm doing it 1 over 1. So it's gonna be teeny tiny. And where I am up to now is, The bottom of, well, the E is in, so where it's going to say Earth. The E and the bottom of the A is in, and I do have the silhouette of the bunny in, so it's very cute. I'm mostly focusing on the greens at the moment. Some of the empty spaces stay empty, but some of them get filled up with flower colours. In the pattern it's pink and blue, but I've changed all the colours on this anyway, just to greens that I had in stash, rather than buying new ones. And I think I want to go for yellow rather than pink flowers, and I will do some blue in the bottom of the design to match the sky at the top, but I haven't picked those colours yet, so I'm planning on kind of doing most of the greens first, and then we'll pick up the yellows and blues later on to kind of pull out some of the detail. This is such a lovely stitch. The design is really easy to follow, lots of lovely block stitching. It's just a really lovely one. Let's see if we can get a close-up. There we go. I really love the detail. I think two of the greens I've chosen are a little bit close to each other. So when I'm stitching on it, it does sometimes feel a bit like there isn't enough distinguishing colours between them. But actually when you step back from it and put it in good light, then they show up perfectly fine. Yeah, I really love that one. It's such a pleasure to stitch, and I never want to put it down. The next one is Spring Village by Nickyscreations. This one I'm doing on a 36 count, a 36 count linen in the colour Summer Khaki. It's very appropriate for today. It's very summer, and I'm kind of wearing summer khaki too. This is where we were up to last time, and I just can't put this stitch down. It is such a lovely, it's the combination of the, I think it's the combination of the linen and the pattern. So the pattern's got some lovely block stitching in where you can just kind of get into the flow and repetitive, and you can get into the repetitive nature of it, and then there's a few bits where you switch up the colour and stuff. But yeah, it's such a pleasure to stitch. I keep going back to this one, even though it is absolutely not on the priority list. It's a fairly new start, but I keep gravitating back towards it. So starting to get some of the details in. I've got one tree in. The little white blobs are sheep. They don't have any faces or legs yet, because I don't have the colour that's called for, so I'm probably going to, it's sort of another brown shade, but I think I'm going to substitute it maybe for a grey. But I wanted to get more of the rest of the stitching in first in the called for colours before choosing, so that I can make sure that it fits well. Yeah, I absolutely love this project. It's such a delight to stitch on. I can see terrible hoop marks. I am never going to be one for ironing my things. I barely want to iron them when I fully finish them. I do iron them, but I barely want to iron them when I fully finish. So I'm never going to be someone who's ironing for my floss tubes. I'd rather be spending the time and energy stitching, or talking to you lovely people. My next one, we were rattling through today. I think I'm hot and I just want to go and lay in front of a fan. So I'm like, bish, bash, bosh, let's get through. My next one is Boreal Bounty. This is from Max Pigeon's book, Cross Stitch in the Forest. And I'm stitching this with a few friends, Karen, Mary and Connie. This is where we were up to last time. And I've pulled this out quite a bit. I had a challenge. I'm in the Facebook group Divas Down Under, which is an Australian group. So I am infiltrated it from a very long way away in the UK. But it's a great group if you want a motivation to do high stitch counts. So each month they do a 10,000 stitch count challenge, and it's split up into sort of 11 different tasks. One of them this month was to do with stitching on certain colours, and one of those colours was grey. This is where I've got up to in this one. So these are not the called for colours. The called for colours are blues and greens, and I'm doing mine in kind of shades of grey, and I'm going to do white and like a very, very pale blue for some of the sky. And I'm hoping that the sun setting in the middle will sort of turn into like a moon landscape. So it's kind of, I'm going for like a nighttime feel with mine. This is again a really lovely piece of fabric to stitch on, and it's such a shame that I don't know what it is. It's just an offcut of 28 count even weave, but it's really soft, and it seems softer and nicer than the 32 count even weave I've used before. I've used some Zweigart before, which is what I did my Kingfisher on. And I'm using an offcut of that to do my artist trading card. But this is really soft, so it's a real shame that I don't know what it is, because I think I would be wanting to buy more of it or put it on the kind of like, oh, that's a nice brand to use. Yeah, it's in a kind of grey colour, and I thrifted a frame. I got a frame from a charity shop, a wooden frame with a circular insert in it a couple of months ago, and I think this might be a good contender to go in it. So when it's finished, I'm excited to pop it in. This one is not on the roster for Just Finish June and July. It is because it was a fairly new start, but I am making really good progress on it. I do keep gravitating back towards it, so it may get finished in the next month, but I'm not pushing, you know, it's not going to get prioritized, but it may accidentally get finished if I can't put it down. Okay, and my last WIP to show you is my Extraordinary Birds by Lola. So this is the stitch along that everybody is stitching. And this is where we're up to in terms of the pattern now. So there's been lots of releases, a shoebill, a toucan, loads of lovely things. I had a bit of a break from this, and I was saying to you last time that, you know, I hadn't bought some of the correct colours. Something had happened when I was ordering the right colours. Thank you. I've had a couple of offers from people to assist in that area, so thank you very much. The kindness of this community never ceases to amaze me, so I appreciate you all very much. But it's back out. It's back out and moving along. This is where I was up to last time, and this time I have been stitching on the central area with some plants and getting in that central tree. So I am not doing this in the order that the feet have come out. I have sort of just gone rogue. I'm just stitching where I want, when I want. Yes, there are threads hanging off it. I don't think I'm ever going to be the neatest stitcher in that way. The stitching itself is neat. It's not ironed and it does have threads hanging off it, but hey, we stitch in the way that is fun for each of us. Still only got 2 complete birds in, but the rest of it is coming together nicely. The bit that I've been focusing on is that central part. There's some tree, and then around it there's some sort of jumping birds, and then the toucan. I think it's a really lovely design. I'm quite happy. Oh, so I'm going to rest my hand on my head. It's knackering holding this up in this heat. I think I'm going to focus on, you know, stitching bits that appeal to me, and also stitching parts where the rest of the bits around it have already come out. I've gotten a bit unstuck in the bottom right hand corner where that plant is. The gap I've left is slightly wrong because I've gone wrong in the brown bit at the bottom, and until I know what goes in there, I don't know whether I can fudge it or whether I need to frog it. So for now that I'm so far behind, I'm stitching bits where we've got most of the bits around it, so less likely to go wrong. My Extraordinary Birds shout out today is for the lovely Sheldon at Sheldon and Stitches. I really love Sheldon's channel. He started Flosstuber earlier this year, same time as me, and he just has such a lovely calming approach. I feel like when I film, I just like garble and I talk really, really fast. And Sheldon's really relaxed and calm, and I just really love watching him because it's just, you know, it always feels so genuine and relaxing, and a kind of peace and calm. So I really appreciate that about Sheldon's channel. If you haven't been watching, go and check him out, because he has loads of projects going and some really big full coverages that are amazing. And is playing Battle of the Whips. So he puts 2 whips up against each other and stitches on both. And then on his Instagram, people vote for which one they want to carry on and see again, which I think is a really good, fun challenge. Okay. Wow, we are rattling through today. Yeah, I think it's like I said, I just want to go and lie in front of a fan. It's very warm in this house. So my hair's just gone. Birthday haul. So I was very kindly gifted some things from my family, some cross-stitch things from my family for my birthday. And so I would like to show you. The first one, we have a new friendly addition to the house who does like to roam around when I'm not looking. So maybe you've seen them before. This is Sally, like Sal-E, but also gets called Timothy Lockjaw and the Flossatron. So like has many names. And it's a lap stand. So I was very kindly gifted this for my birthday, and it is a complete revelation for my stitching. I absolutely love it, like not having to hold the hoop with one hand, and I'm starting to learn to stitch two-handed, which is you know, a lot quicker, and I think less strain. I was getting a bit of repetitive strain in this hand, and actually stitching two-handed means that you're kind of doing less moving with a single hand. So it didn't come with the eyes on, I put the eyes on, but it's such a character in our house that it had to have googly eyes. So yeah, if you're not someone who has stitched with a stand, if you've got someone that you know to give it a go before you buy one, I would really recommend it, because this has been transformational for my stitching, and I really love it. It doesn't flip this way to kind of, I know some of them flip that way to kind of weave in your ends behind, but it's fine actually, because I just, the hoop goes, you know, in its mouth there, and then I just lift it up, so the hoop's facing upwards, and so I can cast it on and off that way, and then just bring it back down again. But yeah, new addition to the family. In terms of, I've got new kits to show you, but in terms of other things that I got for my birthday that have revolutionized how I stitch, I did get my first needle minders as well. So I had this lovely beautiful set of the moon, and I've also got a star, but I don't know where I put it right now, and it was too hot to go through all of the boxes, but everyone who said to me, get a needle minder, you need one and you'll love it, I agree, absolutely. A needle minder is a great accessory. I just hadn't bought one because, you know, trying to keep the costs down, and I used to use a jam jar lid, and I managed not to lose too many needles, but a needle minder is a fantastic addition. So I love this one. It's a little moon and stars set, and that's fine for me. I think I'm not going to fall down the rabbit hole of trying to collect too many different ones. I keep this with my scissors, and then I move it from project to project, so I only need one or two. That's me sorted. But yeah, absolutely, I will absolutely get behind the people that say needle minders are a revolution for stitching, and you should definitely get one. Okay, into the kits I was bought, and this is why we have to knuckle down and do Just Finish It June and July, because I just want to start all the lovely things. Look at all the beautiful things. I want to start them all. So I will show you them, but I think you'll probably see them not before too long on my channel, because I can't wait to start them. Where should we start? Well, I'll just pick randomly. So the first one is one called Summer Colours. This is a full coverage small cross stitch, and the presents I got were all they're all kits, because I'd given some suggestions to my family, but I think people in my family prefer to have something you can wrap up and gift to someone, so I've gone for kits. Some of them I might swap the fabric out, but we will see. Yeah, so this is Summer Colours, I think by RTO, and it does have DMC threads in it, and I really liked just the little house on the hill. I thought it was a really beautiful scene. That's the first one. The second one is a Russian kit. It's not a brand I know, but it caught my eye. and I thought this was lovely. And when I opened this, I was pleasantly surprised to see that the fabric inside is an even weave, not a Ada. Because I did find when I was looking for them online that the listings weren't always very clear about whether it was a 14 count or what the counts were. So yeah, this comes with an even weave, which I was really pleased about. I think the design is a take on a very famous tree in New Zealand. That is there's this tree that's out in the water and on a lake, and the lake's really still. It's the most photographed tree in the whole of the world. A very popular place for photographers because they get this beautiful reflection in the water of this tree. So I suspect that that's what's inspired this design. And I also really am happy to see that there's a lot of half cross stitch in this. So when I did my Kingfisher project, I really enjoyed some of the background being half cross stitch and rather than full cross stitch. I thought the texture of that was really lovely. And the same is done in a lot of the places in the sky in this. So I look forward to doing that. The next one is a kit called the Wagtail, and just look at that, isn't that beautiful? And I was again pleasantly surprised. This does come on an Ada, but it is a kind of beautiful brown sort of Hessian colour Ada, and it's a 16 count, which I thought was a nice surprise because a lot of kits come with 14 count. I think at the moment my preference is sort of around an 18 count. I've been doing a lot on a 36 counts even weave and linens, and I really like that. Stitching 2/2 on the 36 count. I'm not opposed to stitching on Ada. I think Ada stitching is lovely, so I'm going to use the fabric that came with the kit for this one because the colour is so lovely. It's a 16 count Ada. So there's that one. Oh, I've been spoiled, it's so lovely. The next one is a DMC kit. These caught my eye. These, I'm going to call these my mini fancy ladies. Obviously they're not mirabilias or anything like that, but they are they caught my eye. There's a set of them. So there's this one, and then I don't know if you can see on the back there's some other ones on there too of different fancy ladies in their fancy dresses. And I hadn't realised, but it is a printed kit. So I thought that that black outline was a I thought that the black outline was backstitch, but actually when I opened it up, it's printed. So I didn't know. This came directly from DMC. This is one of the ones that got stuck at customs for a long time and they had to resend them. But I wasn't aware that DMC did printed kits. So it is a little bit different to what I've seen of other printed kits. Obviously, you're not supposed to stitch over the black, so the black comes out, it's just a design. I think Bothy threads do that too. They have a kind of printed background, but the dress gets completely stitched over, but it's kind of like an illustration that's printed on rather than a specific showing you where to stitch. So you do get the key that goes with it. And it's almost a shame to stitch over. I think it's really lovely as an illustration. I really like the kind of watercolour effects of it too. So yeah, excited to give that a go. This is a 14 count Ada, and obviously it's more difficult to swap it out because you could do the dress, which you get the pattern for, but they don't give you a pattern for the arms and the face because it's printed. I think you could probably try and make up the kind of you could probably try and make it up with backstitch, but I think it probably would be a bit more difficult and it would probably look a bit blocky. So yeah, exciting. And another one that came from DMC is Monet's Water Lily Pond. So this is a big one. I think it doesn't give me I think I estimated it about 180 by 180, so it's not full coverage, so it's not going to be a small one, but this is lovely. It comes in like a box with a sleeve with everything inside, and I'm very excited about this. Monet I'm a big fan of Monet's Water Lilies, So this is a big project to get undertaken. Not that I needed another big full coverage. I put this list together in March before I treated myself to the Gecko Rouge. So this is not as big as the Gecko Rouge, but I think between this and my Gecko Rouge, I do not need any more big full coverages. We're done. We're done until they're finished. Or until Christmas rolls around and people say, what do you want for Christmas? So this comes with a 14 count Ada, but I think I'm going to do it on an 18 count Ada. I'm really enjoying the look of an 18 count. And some of the pattern is quite dark, and I would prefer it if we didn't see too much of the background, the white fabric through it. So I think I'm going to switch it out for an 18 count. And when I buy the 18 count for that, I might mean that I can get a small offcut to do. I don't know where I've put it. Where have I put it? Who knows? I might also get the same piece of fabric to do this one on 18 count as well. Okay. One more. I've been truly spoiled. This is a cross stitch kit from the Royal Horticultural Society. So in the UK, they own gardens across the country, and that you can pay to either be a member or you can go and visit for the day. And I got this for my birthday. I wasn't aware that they did this. It's a beautiful butterfly and dragonfly, and it's fun because it says that they're inspired by the Lindy collections, which is the collections the Royal Horticultural Society have of botanical drawings, and I suspect also pinned butterflies and historical things like that. The only thing that's a bit of a shame about it is these kits are inspired by the Lindy collection, but they don't tell you what the species are, what the plants are, or that include information about which bit of the Lindy collection. So they just say, oh, it's from the Lindy collection, which I think is a bit of a shame. And also that is a mock-up. That's not actually stitched, which I think is a bit of a shame. I think they probably would sell more of these kits if they'd actually got someone to do a model stitch. But very excited to do that. It does come with a 14 count Ada, but I might use an even weave for it, or a kind of natural, more of a creamy browny background for it to give it a kind of natural feel. So we shall see. And those are all my lovely birthday haul. I cannot wait to start them all. That's why we have to finish things before we start things. I would like to give a couple of shout outs, or things that I would people I'd like to recommend to you, or things videos you should go and watch. My first is a creator called Giselle's Garden, and Giselle had started Flosstuber I think last year, and then they'd had a bit of a break, and they're back. Their projects are just wonderful. Last video they'd made an amazing pair of earrings, and they've also just finished a Lord of the Rings pattern, which is kind of sort of in the style of those old train station adverts of Visit Bournemouth, and they've done a Lord of the Rings one, and it's just lovely. Their work is really, really, really lovely, so do pop on over and give them a watch if you've got some time. And then the second person I'd like to signpost to is, I had planned to do a pride stitch in June. We are now at the end of June and I have yet to start a pride stitch. So it hasn't happened. It will happen at some point, but I've sort of run out the clock a little bit on June. But you should go and watch Envis's video. They are at the Sleepy Goblin Crafts, and Envis did a spotlight video on all LGBTQIA plus creators, and it's a great video for finding new designers for not just for Pride Month, for every month. Great. I have melted. It's so warm. My brain has stopped functioning. Let me look at the notes. Plans. Okay, my plan is to drink water and lie in front of a fan, and that's it. No, seriously, no, my plans are to get some finishes in July. I hope that you'll join me. The hashtag is justfinishjuneandjuly, or you can send me an email if you'd like your work to be featured in the community finish parade. I will be doing probably a whip parade and maybe a finish parade at end of July. So end of July will will be my 6-month stitching anniversary, and you know, if you've watched before, you may know that I started stitching because of pretty bad ill health in the last couple of years, and so with not a lot else going on in my life, by the end of July I would like to do a kind of roundup of everything I've stitched in the last 6 months as a kind of celebration that other things may be taking some time and maybe feeling like they are at a standstill, but look at all these wonderful things I've created and all these new friends I've made. So yes, that will be coming up as per you know, time and energy and availability. So I hope to get that done. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, and that's okay. Anyway, I'm off to eat an ice lolly and put my feet in a cold bath. I hope you're all well. I'm sending you all lots of happy stitchy thoughts, and we'll see you again soon.